Hi guys, it's Maaike. Today I'm back with another guest designer spot for the Simon System Wednesday challenge. This is the card I made for it. Our theme is Christmas and we're showcasing Creative Expressions products, and I've used the Jingle Bells die and the Carol's Festive Bells cling stamp. It's if you play along, you could win $50 to Simon System and get them yourself. That's where I got them. I started by making my own glitter paper, and I probably should have cut this before. I don't need that much because this Jingle Bell is quite small but also very detailed and dainty and pretty. The idea of making your own glitter paper or any paper that you have is that you can match it to your project. So for it I'm using Wow Black Twinkle. If you have Black Magic, I think that's very similar, and Versamagic ink. So I'm smooshing that on the paper I just cut to get a good coverage, and then I will sprinkle on the embossing powder. You shake it first so you incorporate all the glitter. I didn't plan to do a dark blue background, so if I had, I probably would have chosen a different embossing powder. I thought about gold, but if you know my channel, you know I like my lines in images and sentiments to be black, so I went for black glitter because it's Christmas. And well, then the card progressed and got away from me, so it does that sometimes. And that's the fault of my battery, because it died when I colored two of the bells. That was the only bit I got to color, and then while it was recharging I came across the blue panel that I made earlier last week. So yeah, the cling stamp is of course not clear, so I thought I better get out my grid and do a test stamping on this white laminated piece. But in the end I thought I don't really have to. It's quite okay if the bells are a little bit tilted or not. Just make sure they're not, you know, a whole quarter turn clockwise or counterclockwise. But I wanted to cut it first into a square and put the square panel on the card, and afterwards I chose to do it in a round because I had a round die that fitted perfectly. Yes, I forgot the embossing buddy, that's okay. And because of that I made it into a round panel, which kind of looks like an artist trading coin now. I like that. And I'm not embossing this to keep the colors in check like you would do with watercoloring, because most of the lines are open, so that is no point. And so I liked it when my colors flow into each other and make different colors and make a soft background. Like I think my leaves and the blue, they just melted into each other. I didn't do it on purpose, but I left it because I think it adds to the effect. Like there's more foliage in the back. Now you will see when it's done. And to color it, I pulled out my Italian's Ecoline. And that's because I thought Simon System still carries them. But while my battery was charging, I was actually looking up all the products so I could link them down below for you. And I couldn't find them anymore. So I think they stopped carrying that. And it's okay, because then I switched to Distress Spray Stains, which works similarly. Or the same, I would say. And yes, don't do that. Usually I use a dropper. I couldn't find it. Or my measuring spoon, but I didn't feel like it because I'm more color, and that's actually why I use the dried up Ecoline in the ice cubes. And this is two colors of red. One is reddish brown and the other is carmine, I think. And I wanted to mix them together to make a darker red, but not brown red. Doesn't make sense. I also want some more shimmer because it's Christmas card, so I'm using the shimmer spritz in gold from Tsukineko, if I can get it open. That also happens with the Ecoline and the distress spray stain when the paint dries in the screw thingies. There, yeah, it gets stuck. So the gold, you have to mix it up continuously because it settles really quickly. And it gives you a little pearlescent shine actually onto your image. And I think that's perfect for Christmas. Wait, actually it's perfect. Oh yeah, around. I like glitter, so. See, this is how far I got with the first battery load. So that's why I switched to blue and green. Mermaid, Lagoon and Modelon. And I do the same. The shimmer spritz, you might have used Sparkle or the Frost before. These are new for me and they react the same. They make the paint dry differently, not as quickly anyway as you might be used to. See how that settled again, instant. But I'm trying to deepen the colors a little bit where it had dried already. And I have the blue green and a Modelon green for the different foliages. There's, I think, a pine tree twig in there or two, and then there's holly leaves, and of course holly berries, and a ribbon of some sort. I found it a bit hard, but on the example it's easier to see on the packaging. And I really wanted to get the two foliages and the silver ribbon. And of course I could have done the ribbon in blue as well. But I went for silver because of the silver ribbon I've added behind the panel. So I pulled out the grey and the silver shimmer spritz. And you can see here how the blue and the green kind of bloomed into each other. And that's okay. That's the effect of watercolor, isn't it? I like it. Some people might not like the messy look of watercolor that kind of runs into each other. Then you will have to wait a long time because, as I said, this shimmer spritz makes the colors stay wet longer. But it's gorgeous. Yeah. I'm looking at the card now, in case you're wondering. It's so shimmery and shiny. And yeah, this is the silver shimmer spritz, which I put on without color, just silver, but I thought that maybe I should add some grey as well. But for now I'm going in with the blue-green that I pulled out. And if you're not happy with the shading after it's completely dry, you can always go in with pencils and deepen them a bit more. But see, I like it. I think that gives the idea of having more foliage in the back, and it's turned a little bit golden because of the shimmer spritz. So that's really cool. And I have ordered another stamp from Creative Expressions, but it's not in yet. It was on pre-order until the end of November, so I'm still waiting for that. And it's a silhouette. I like it for Christmas. It has deers in it and elves, and I like it. Well, you will see it because I'll probably use it. And see, the circle shifted a little bit in the machine, so I'm just touching up the edges with some of that Mermaid Lagoon. You don't have to do this, of course, but yeah. I think that makes it look more finished. And see, that's why I went for the silver ribbon in my image. Here you can see the glitter star cardstock that we made with the embossing powder. and I've die cut it off screen. But meantime I'm going to put the ribbon on the card base, just keeping it placed with some tape, and also mounting the blue and the watercolor panel with foam tape. And if you wanted to, you could of course have cut the blue base smaller, so you would have a white edge from the card base around it. I didn't. I think it looks more clean and simple this way. And I'm mounting this one with foam tape as well, as I said, and I will also put a little bit of foam on the silver ribbon just to make sure that stays. So for the sentiment, I got my card here and I'm putting double-sided adhesive on it so I can die cut it and make it into a sticker. As you can see, I already die cut it once, but it was so dainty and pretty and swirly that I didn't see how to get the paint behind there. So I will use the die to put it in place and then push it out. And as I said, because it's so dainty and thin, it will warp really quickly. So if I can, I would like to leave it in the die and then push it through the release holes and push it onto the paper. And as you can see, it's very shimmery. In real life you can see it better, but on camera it's very dark against dark. So I pulled out my white Sharpie marker pen and I've added some highlights. So I think that will help you identify the shape so you can read it better. Of course, if you do this in white, then you wouldn't have to do it. But yeah, cards change. Anyway, I would like to thank you for watching again this week, and I will see you again next week on Wednesday instead of Thursday. Thank you for watching. Bye.